the most painful theme park deaths ever.
The indoor coaster derailment. On June 14th, 1986, what began as a typical Saturday at West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada, became a nightmare for visitors. The three victims were among the passengers aboard the Mindbender, the world's largest indoor triple loop roller coaster. The massive
Triple loop?
attraction was the centerpiece of the mall's Fantasyland amusement park, reaching speeds
That's
of
cool.
60 miles per hour. That evening, the final train of the day was loaded with 12 passengers. As it climbed the first hill, several riders reported hearing unusual clicking sounds. The four-car train completed its first two inversions without incident. Then, as it approached the third loop at approximately 7:15 in the evening, disaster struck. The last car, carrying 4 passengers, suddenly disconnected from the train. Investigation would later reveal that 4 critical bolts had worked loose from the wheel assembly. The detached car derailed, slamming into a concrete pillar at full speed. The impact was so violent that the metal frame of the car crumpled instantly. Inside that final car, the passengers experienced a moment of weightlessness as the wheels left the track. They had just seconds to process what was happening. The sensation of freefall ended with a crushing impact that shattered the car's fiberglass shell. The passengers remained conscious through the initial collision. The car then plummeted 40 feet to the concrete floor below. Witnesses described seeing bodies thrown from the wreckage like rag dolls. The sound of twisting metal and screams echoed throughout the cavernous mall. Other shoppers watched in horror, unable to help. First responders rushed to the scene, but it was already too late for 3 of the 4 passengers. The fourth, a 13-year-old girl, survived with severe injuries. Cindy Sims, age 26, David Sager, age 24, and Tony Merckx, age 21, had all suffered catastrophic head trauma and internal
What?
injuries.
Oh,
Their final
microphone
conscious moments were
froze.
filled with the
Shit, too bad.
terrifying awareness of being ejected from a roller coaster at high speed
I was
with
about
no
to get so
possible
mad,
escape.
chat.
The fatal
about to get
plunge
so
from the
mad.
freight fall. On March 20,
Oh my god, I was about to get so mad. But dude, that's fucking insane, bro. I never really had a fear of roller coasters until now. Until like I decided to watch this video and do a reaction. Um and then I was sitting here, and I was thinking about it for a second and I'm like, "Damn. Roller coasters really are kind of fucking scary, bro." Like, I don't know, they're just kind of scary. I mean, at the same time, I'd probably still go on one, to be honest with you, cuz I mean, it'd be fun,
roller
but like,
coaster at high speed with no possible escape. The fatal plunge from the freight fall. On March
trying to see if I've done.
Fatal
No, I've never
plunge from
done
the
a
freight
ride like
fall.
that
On
either.
March
I've never gone
24th,
to like
2020.
a carnival. No, not a I've never gone to an actual amusement park. There's a fucking a gnat flying around. My bad. But what was I saying, chat? I don't know, bro. Hold up. Let's see if I can catch this on camera. My dog, bro. He's like digging at the bed, bro, and it's so
Visitors at
annoying.
Icon Park
Like
in
he does
Orlando,
that shit
Florida witnessed one of the
all the
most disturbing
time, bro.
amusement park
And so like I have to I take, I don't know if you can see, but all my bedding is like piled up above the bed over there, you know. And then you just got my fucking dog just sitting there in the middle. That's Hamilton. He's pretty chill, man. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here, fuck knuckle. Come here. Come here. Well, all right. Fuck you too then. I guess he just does not want to
accidents in
come over
recent
here.
memory. Tyre was a 14-year-old boy visiting from Missouri with his football team. He was a gifted athlete at 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighing over 300 pounds. That evening, he boarded the Orlando Freefall.
Dude, I'm pretty tall. Like, I think I'm like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. But I'm pretty tall, bro.
Determined why she removed this crucial restraint. The bobsled entered one
I did not mean to skip way ahead like that.
accidents in recent memory. Pounds. As the world's tallest freestanding drop tower. The ride lifted passengers 430 feet into the air before plummeting them toward the ground at 75 miles per hour.
Yo, but peep this. I am going to an indoor water park and hotel. It's like what's resort? There we go. That's the word. It's a resort. Um, Going there for a couple days. It's gonna be chill. Um, and yeah, and so I do plan to try and upload even on the days that I'm gone. I'm gonna try and pre-schedule some videos. But I don't know how that's gonna go. But we're gonna give it a try. And yeah, I might even do like a vlog style video or some shit of while I'm there. Um, I don't know, but I am excited because I'm gonna get high as fuck, and I'm gonna swim, and I'm gonna eat good ass food, and it's gonna be great, chat. Yeah, so I was just thinking about that because like these are amusement parks. I'm not going to an amusement park, but they got like a couple slides and shit. Um, it's more just a really nice place to hang out, bro. Like it's not even like some cool ass complex indoor water park. Like it's got four slides total. Um, uh, Literally just two identical slides. Just one's really big, one's small. Um, and the big one, if you go in it too fast initially, you're gonna slam your fucking face, right? Because it let me switch cameras for this so that like y'all can see better, right? So it comes in like this, right? uh my bad, I'm trying to like angle, right? So it comes in, you start out at just a slight angle, you go for flat, right, where you stand, and then you go in and you're going like at a slight angle for a second, and then it suddenly drops to like pretty much pretty much straight down. All right, you got just barely any fucking turn, right? And so if you swing in too fast, like a lot of people do when they don't know that they shouldn't do that, you'll go and you'll swing in, or even if you just go in wrong because they got jets blasting water that push you fast as fuck. But yeah, so you kind of gotta like cover your face because you're gonna slam your fucking head into the slide, bro. Because it's like this, and then all of a sudden it just drops, and you're fucking. If you swing in, you're hauling ass. If you just sit down and you like lay down and push forward, those fucking jets spraying water because you gotta lay down for the slide. You're gonna be laying there. They're gonna hit your shoulders, and you're just gonna get flung forward, bro. Because them bitches are spraying that fucking water. And then the other slide, the other really big slide is like really fucking turny and shit. And we've every year that we've ever gone, we have always tried to swing, right? We swing into it as fast as we can, right? So we just go flying in, and then you go in, you go straight for, you know, I'd say probably 15, 20 feet, and then it quickly goes, it busts a right, and it takes you back this way a bit, and then it busts a left, and then it busts a right, but it busts a U-turn when it hits the right, so it busts a U-turn and then a bit of a loop, and then it goes this way, after the loop, so it goes bam like that, and then it goes like this, and then it turns again, and then it turns back, like two U-turns, so it goes one U-turn after the loop, another U-turn, and then you come out, you go like around this little loop thingy over here, and loop, this little turn here, and then you come out. um, but we always, right, when you're at the top, it turns into a tunnel about the time of like the first U-turn or some shit, right? But before then, it's just like open, right? But at the big turns, it's got these fucking huge like sidewalls, right? And so if you do it right, you can fling yourself up, and you can make yourself fucking like flip and do a cool like ass, like cool fucking like you're a fucking skateboard, bro. All right, and it's sick, bro. I'm excited to go. Um, it's also on the beach, um, but it's winter time, so fuck the beach. It's gonna be cold, but the inside it's heated and everything. It's just cheaper to go in the winter. Um, yeah, that's really all I can think about. Um, they got a big ass lazy river though. with two smaller slides. One slide goes straight, big ass fucking just wham, right? Just it goes around like that, and then it just goes back to straight. And then you got the other slide, it just goes wham, boom. And both of those are just open slides. But yeah. And then there's also like a kiddie pool there and shit. Yeah, it's sick as fuck, yo. But yeah, I'm excited to go do that. I was just yapping for a solid minute, bro. All that's going in the
As the
video.
ride began its ascent, Tyre was already expressing concern. Other passengers later reported hearing him ask the attendant if he was secured properly. The attendant assured him he was safe. The ride reached its maximum height, paused briefly, then began its rapid descent. Witnesses described the moment with horror. As the ride accelerated downward, Tyre's harness shifted. He slipped forward, then sideways. In the final seconds, he desperately gripped the safety restraint. His knuckles went white from the effort. His face showed pure terror as he realized what was happening. Other riders screamed as they watched him struggle. The gap between his body and the restraint grew wider. At approximately halfway down the tower, the forces became too much. Tyre lost his grip and was thrown from the seat. He was conscious and aware as he fell more than 100 feet through the air. Spectators heard his screams cut abruptly short when he struck the pavement below. First responders arrived within minutes, but Tyre showed no signs of life. The impact...
Hold up. Tyre? I said that all fucked up. Tyre. Like. Tyre. Like your name is Tyre. Or is it spelled fucking like tire? You know what I'm saying? Is it spelled like that? Huh? Is it spelled weird or some shit? You know?
had caused immediate and overwhelming internal damage. Later investigation revealed the ride operator had manually... Responders arrived within minutes, but Tyre showed no
Tire. Tire. What the fuck?
signs of life. The impact had caused
That is what he
immediate
said.
and overwhelming internal damage. Later investigation revealed the ride operator had manually adjusted the seat's proximity sensor, creating a 7-inch gap in the safety harness. This alteration allowed the oversized restraint to indicate it was securely closed, when in reality, it left enough space for Tyre's body to slip through during the forceful deceleration. The electrified kayak ride. On July 27th,
Damn.
the force
There's something I was gonna say, bro. But I forgot it.
securely closed, when in reality, it left enough space for Tyre's body to slip through during the forceful deceleration. The electrified kayak ride. On July 27th, 1982, a summer day at Action Park in Vernon Township, New Jersey.
Action Park. Oh my god, I watched a whole like 4-hour video on this fucking park, and it was actually some entertaining ass shit. It was about like all the different rides. Fuck. I don't know what the fuck that just was. But it was about all the different rides and how like all the different rides that had closed down, all the ones that didn't close down, the ways that people got injured, the ways that people died, and everything. My bad. My brain's just not braining. I need to
Turned
just press
deadly.
play.
Jeffrey
I'm
was a
just
27-year-old visiting the notorious park, known locally as Traction Park or Accident Park, due to its alarming injury rate. That afternoon, he decided to try the kayak experience, a whitewater rafting attraction featuring individual kayaks navigating through turbulent rapids. The ride used a complex system of underwater fans to create artificial currents, generating waves and rapids in what was otherwise a calm water channel. These fans were powered by electrical lines running beneath the water's surface. The ride had been operating without incident that day, with hundreds of guests experiencing the artificial rapids without any sign of danger. Jeffrey paddled his kayak into the main channel around 2:30 in the afternoon. Witnesses said he seemed to be enjoying himself. navigating the first set of rapids successfully. As he approached the second section, his kayak suddenly capsized in one of the stronger current areas. This was a common occurrence on the ride, and most guests simply righted their kayaks and continued. But when Jeffrey fell into the water, something was terribly wrong. His body immediately stiffened. Other guests noticed him thrashing in the water, his muscles contracting involuntarily. Jeffrey was fully conscious as electricity coursed through his body. His eyes were wide open, his mouth locked in a silent scream. He could feel every muscle in his body seizing simultaneously. Nearby riders tried to help, but received painful shocks when they touched the water. Park employees rushed to shut down the power, but crucial seconds ticked by. Jeffrey remained conscious through most of the electrocution, experiencing the sensation of his heart rhythm disrupting and his lungs paralyzing. Unable to breathe or call for help, he remained aware as his body began to shut down. By the time the electricity was cut off and staff pulled him from the water, Jeffrey's heart had already stopped. The fatal pond rescue.
Damn. Um. Yeah, I don't got nothing to say.
On June 9th,
That's just
1991,
like
a summer
rest in
evening at
peace,
Kings
bro.
Island Amusement Park in Mason, Ohio, turned into a scene of cascading tragedy. William was a 20-year-old visiting with friends. Daryl was a 21-year-old park employee working as a groundskeeper. Neither man knew the other, but their fates would intertwine in the shallow waters of the park's decorative pond. The pond was located in the Oktoberfest section of the park, a popular area filled with German-themed attractions and food stands. Beneath its placid surface, submerged electrical pumps powered the water features. Around 9:30, a guest accidentally dropped a souvenir cup into the water. Attempting to retrieve it, he stepped into the pond. Immediately, he began to convulse. Unknown to anyone, a faulty underwater pump had developed an electrical short. The current had electrified the entire pond. The guests' screams drew attention from nearby visitors. William Haithcote, seeing the man in distress, immediately jumped into the water to help. The moment he entered the water, the electricity seized his body. His muscles locked instantly. He couldn't move, couldn't speak. Daryl Robertson, working nearby, heard the commotion and ran to assist. Without hesitation, he too jumped into the pond. The current gripped him immediately. Both men remained conscious, their nervous systems overwhelmed by the continuous electrical flow. Their hearts began to fibrillate. They could feel their breathing muscles paralyze. Their minds remained alert as their bodies failed them. Witnesses described the haunting sight of both men shuddering in the water, unable to call for help or pull themselves free. Park officials frantically searched for the emergency shutoff. Other employees tried using wooden poles to pull the men out, but the positioning made rescue impossible. For nearly 3 minutes, both men endured the continuous current. When the power was finally cut, William and Daryl had already suffered fatal cardiac arrhythmias. The original guest survived with severe injuries. The coaster intruder decapitation.
Crazy, bro. Um.
On June 28th,
The coaster intruder decapitation.
2008, a summer afternoon at Six Flags Over Georgia ended in one of the most gruesome amusement park deaths ever recorded. Asia was a 17-year-old high school student visiting the park with friends from nearby Springfield, South Carolina. He was described by teachers as bright and athletic, with plans to join the military after graduation. The Bat was described by teachers. Roller coaster was one of the park's most popular attractions, an inverted coaster where riders' feet dangle freely beneath them. The coaster reached speeds of 50 miles per hour and featured multiple inversions through its twisted track. Like all modern coasters, it had clearly marked restricted zones underneath and around the ride structure. Around 2 in the afternoon, Asia and a friend decided to retrieve a hat that had fallen off during an earlier ride. Despite 2 6-foot security fences and numerous warning signs, they entered the restricted zone beneath the coaster track. His friend stopped, sensing danger. Asia continued forward, moving deeper into the mechanical maze. The ride was in full operation, with loaded trains dispatched every 90 seconds. Asia was reportedly looking up, scanning the ground for the lost hat. He never heard the approaching train. Witnesses on the ride described seeing a figure suddenly appear beneath them. The train, carrying 32 passengers, was midway through its course. Asia looked up at the last possible second. His eyes widened with sudden recognition of his situation. In that final moment, he attempted to duck, but his reaction came too late. The dangling legs of front row riders struck him at full speed. The impact was immediate and overwhelming. The force was so severe that Asia's head was completely severed from his body. Riders on the coaster felt a sudden jolt and reported seeing a flash of what happened below them. Many were covered with blood. When the ride completed its circuit, the passengers were in shock. The coaster was immediately shut down. First responders arrived to find a scene so disturbing that several required
Wow.
counseling afterward. The simulator cabin collapse. On
Wow.
June 29th,
Okay.
2010, a routine day at the overseas Chinese town
I would love to skate that, yo. To skate around like that. Hop on a skateboard, just start there, right? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot, chat. Start right here, right? Go around like that. And then down. You know what I'm saying?
East Theme Park in Shenzhen, China, became the site of mechanical carnage. The 6 victims were among 44 passengers aboard the Space Journey attraction, a rocket launch simulator that combined centrifugal force with video projections to create the illusion of space travel. The ride consisted of 10 individual cabins arranged in a circle, each holding 4 to 6 riders. These cabins rotated around a central axis while simultaneously tilting and spinning to simulate the sensation of a rocket launch. The entire apparatus was suspended 15 meters above the ground and enclosed in a dome theater. At approximately 6:45 in the evening, the ride was operating at full capacity. Halfway through the simulation, as the cabins reached maximum rotation speed of 30 revolutions per minute, passengers heard a loud metallic snap. One of the cabins had broken free from its mounting bracket. The cabin containing 6 passengers was flung outward by centrifugal force. Inside the detached cabin, the occupants immediately sensed something was wrong. The normal gravitational forces suddenly intensified. Their bodies pressed against the restraints with crushing pressure. For a brief moment, they experienced weightlessness as the cabin broke free, followed by the terrifying sensation of uncontrolled flight. The cabin struck a supporting pillar before crashing into other cabins still attached to the ride. The impact sheared through the metal framework, causing a catastrophic chain reaction. Additional cabins broke loose. The central axis began to collapse.
That's
Inside the
crazy,
failing
bro.
structure, passengers were fully aware of what was happening, but powerless to escape. Those in the detached cabins felt every jarring impact as their enclosures were smashed against hard surfaces. Metal fragments tore through the cabin interiors. The bodies inside were subjected to extreme gravitational forces, rupturing organs and breaking bones. When emergency personnel finally reached the wreckage, they found a tangle of twisted metal and broken machinery. 6 people had been crushed to death by the combined effects of impact trauma and mechanical compression. The Matterhorn ejection.
Yeah.
Dolly Young was 48 years old when she
Crazy.
visited Disneyland in January of 1984. The Matterhorn bobsleds had been operating since 1959, becoming one of the park's signature attractions. Young boarded the bobsled with a friend on what should have been a routine 3-minute ride through the artificial mountain's twisting track. The Matterhorn featured tandem seating in its bobsleds, with each passenger secured by individual lap belts. Young sat in the rear position of her bobsled. As the vehicle climbed the first lift hill, other guests noticed nothing unusual about her behavior. The ride reached its peak and began its rapid descent through the mountain's interior somewhere during the first major curve. Young apparently unbuckled her safety belt. Park officials never determined why she removed this crucial restraint. The bobsled entered one of the ride's sharp turns at approximately 25 miles per hour. Without the lap belt securing her body, the centrifugal force pulled Young toward the outside of the curve. In a matter of seconds, she was thrown from the vehicle. Guests in trailing bobsleds heard a sudden scream cut short. Young landed directly on the metal track, the impact causing immediate trauma, but not instant death. She was conscious, dazed, and unable to move from her position. The fall alone would have been survivable. What the falling passenger couldn't see was the next bobsled rapidly approaching from behind. Each vehicle on the Matterhorn was dispatched at precise 30-second intervals. The oncoming bobsled's operator had no ability to stop. Young was still conscious on the track when she heard the rumble of the approaching vehicle. For a brief moment, she was aware of her situation, but completely helpless to escape it. The bobsled struck her body at full speed, crushing her against the metal track. The impact caused catastrophic internal injuries. Other guests on the ride described hearing a distinct sound, followed by the vehicle shuddering as it passed over her body. Dolly Young was pronounced dead at the scene when emergency responders finally reached her. Crushed by the rotating theater.
Ow. That's why, like, you always follow the rules when you're at a place like an amusement park, a water park, or really anything. Just follow the rules because the rules are put there to keep you safe, man.
On July 8th,
So,
1974, what began as an ordinary workday at Disneyland
I've seen this one. She gets crushed between the walls. Yeah. I can't English shit,
ended
yo.
in unimaginable
Fuck.
suffering. Deborah was an 18-year-old hostess recently hired for the summer season at the park in Anaheim, California. She was assigned to the America Sings attraction, a newly opened theater show featuring audio animatronic animals performing patriotic songs. The attraction consisted of a rotating central audience section surrounded by 6 stationary stages. Between shows, the outer ring rotated counterclockwise, while the inner audience section turned clockwise. This created narrow gaps that would appear and disappear as the walls moved past each other. These gaps measured only 9 inches at their widest point, barely visible in the dim lighting. At approximately 9:15 in the evening, Deborah was standing between sections 1 and 2. The exact reason why remains unclear. Some reports suggest she was reaching for a guest dropped item. Others indicate she was simply moving between sections. As the walls began their rotation, Deborah stepped forward. In that split second, she made a fatal miscalculation. The gap was already closing. Deborah became aware of her situation immediately, as the pressure began against her body. She tried to push back, but the massive walls continued their predetermined path. The mechanical force was relentless. Guests in the theater heard her screams echoing through the building. Many thought it was part of the show, a sound effect meant to startle the audience. The walls continued closing. The pressure against Deborah's chest increased until breathing became impossible. Her ribcage cracked under the force, one bone at a time. The grinding mechanism continued pushing, crushing her internal organs. Her screams suddenly stopped. When fellow cast members finally realized what had happened and shut down the ride, they discovered Deborah's body compressed between the walls, her features distorted from the pressure that had squeezed the life from her. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now and make sure to subscribe.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
All right. Well,